morning, everyone. Welcome to my Tireside Chat Part 2. Today is when I wanted to make a rare, separate second video where I would just talk about cryptocurrency and where things are at this point. So I don't usually do that because I know, well, not that I have many people watching my videos anyways, but it's usually just like family. And wanted to rant for a little bit in the last 5-10 minutes of my drive here. I recently changed up some of my positions. We're in an interesting time here in October. It looks like Bitcoin is back maybe on an uptrend, slight uptrend so far. It's been getting higher lows and slightly higher highs these past couple of short cycles, and so it's promising. I don't know, we've got the election coming up in just 3 weeks. We'll see how everything goes with that. I'm kind of in the camp, I know there's a lot of people out in the cryptocurrency community, at least from what I'm seeing, and maybe it's just because it's Twitter and all the Discord channels, but most of you are Trump supporters, and if you're Trump supporters at all, you're avid Trump supporters. It's like one way or the other. You're either vehemently for or against. And a lot of people in the community, not all of them, but a lot of them think that if Trump gets elected, it's going to be super bullish for cryptocurrency. That may very well be the case. And if Kamala gets elected, then it's going to be bearish. I don't know. I think it's probably a bit exaggerated, or it's somewhere in between. Or it's not really going to have any effect at all. It may have an initial, emotional response from the market, one way or another. But ultimately, I think by the time we get to January, I don't think it's going to matter that much, as long as the economy is still in a good place, and the Federal Reserve doesn't have to step in and lower interest rates drastically to try to save the economy in their eyes, which would be the sign of an upcoming recession. And if we have a recession earlier than Bitcoin season can play out, then maybe things are going to be not so bullish. Excuse me while I eat my breakfast sandwich here. I'm hungry. So this past week or two, we've had Caspa, which has for this past year and a half or so, 2 years, been my strongest position in my portfolio. And I in the past year or so, as I made really good profits on that, I took some profits and kind of spread it out into some other altcoins. A number of different plays. I've kind of taken strategies from a number of different people that I've followed on YouTube or in different Discord channels, and kind of combined all that thinking. Part of it, what I do like from the Crypto John group, I do like the thinking that if something isn't on Coinbase or Binance, they're one of the major exchanges, it doesn't have, it's not going to have as much chance to really thrive, which is, it makes sense. Then you see other coins like Dero, that we were strong into, a couple during the last cycle, into privacy coins, which I don't think in general are doing all that well now, except for Monero, which is kind of holding steady. And maybe that's still a decent one to be in, but like with the privacy coins, the Dero, I still had quite a bit of Dero, and after earlier this year, their community was talking about getting a listing on MEXC, and it was just like, yeah, great, more listings, more exposure. better price action. I mean, that's pretty much how it goes. But there was just infighting in their community with people. Some of them, so they tried to raise funds to they tried to get the community to contribute Dero to a pool to have the funds to get the listing, because the community or the coin or the developers have to pay the listing or supply so much typically to get their coin listed on that exchange. And they could not raise, it wasn't that much. I don't remember, it was like 25,000 Dero or something like that, which, what, like a Dero at the time was $4. In a community of how many thousands of people, they could not get them to raise that money. And there was all this infighting about it, how like half of the people didn't even want to get it listed on an exchange because they thought it was like bad for their privacy ideals or whatever. And at that point I was like, man, I'm out, because if you expect to do that and not have and then you expect to like actively not get your coin listed on an exchange and then still think that somehow the price is gonna rip, you're fooling yourself, because you're not gonna get the coin introduced to new people. So it's not gonna, if it doesn't have visibility, not enough people are gonna buy it or learn about it. It's gonna be too difficult for them to get. The idea that if a coin gets listed on Coinbase or Binance, which are like, two of the biggest exchanges, and there's other ones out there with the number of users, it's going to be a lot easier. People are going to see it. They're going to see the listing gets announced. It's going to be easy for normies, people who aren't super into crypto and want to be on a bunch of different exchanges. They just want like their Coinbase app on their phone, and then just to be able to buy and trade and stuff, and link it to the bank account, and it's really simple for them to do that. So I like that thought process, and so I've moved recently. As far as categories go, it looks like meme coins, which I was never into meme coins. I always kind of thought they were stupid, but there's something to be said about them right now if you get in the right ones at the right time that aren't going to be rug pulls, and they have good looking charts and liquidity. There's, they can be really good opportunity to get into some of those. So I got into Turbo many months back at a pretty good price. I invested quite a bit into that. And then just this, like about a week ago, another one called Moonwell, or just Well, that is looking super bullish, and already done pretty well on that. I mean, it's only been a week or whatever, so we'll see. Also still holding Aerodrome, which has been doing well lately due to a bunch of announcements around that and what Coinbase is doing. And let's see what else. So yeah, in Caspa, still holding Caspa. Caspa's had a relatively bad week / month, where it was at an all-time high, close to 20 cents. What was that, a month or 6 weeks, 8 weeks ago, where it touched the ceiling there on 20 cents. And kind of hung around 18, 19 cents, and it's kind of gradually has come back down. And now it over the weekend, it went all the way down to 13 cents, and just barely for a second dipped below 13, but it's kind of bounced back up, and it's on its way to 14. I think probably just because of Bitcoin bouncing back. I hadn't looked at the charts, Caspa to Bitcoin. It's probably, anyway. So there's a lot of, and I can see in Caspa communities that there's a lot of, this has happened so many times before, and I've been in Caspa for 2 years, since I think it was August of 22. back when it was like 1/10 of a cent, when it was hitting you 1/10 of a penny, and then it would like go up and almost hit the 10th and then come back down, and people would doubt it then, even back then. And now, here it's gone up, almost, what is that, 10, almost not 100x, but 20x or whatever from there. And my math, sorry, I'm tired of my math. It's not there yet today. But this happens all the time. And the bottom line is the fundamentals around Caspa. I think it's like one of the safest investments in the crypto market today. And just because it's back down to 13 cents, people have doubts. And they're watching. In the meantime, you're watching everything else that's going up, and you want to get into other things. And the whole, I've heard the analogy of the fast moving car. You're in one car and you see another car going faster, you want to hop out and get in the other car, and then sometimes you get in the other car and then the car you were just in passes you up, and you're like, damn it. But you have no way of knowing which one's going to do better, and how quickly. So it's all a gamble. And then and I've been doing that all year this year, and kind of trading back and forth. I'm gonna switch this for that and this for that, and all in all, my portfolio, the value's been kind of flat since like January, March, when things really took off at the beginning of this year. So and that's probably how it's been for most people, unless they were, and I haven't been investing anything more out of pocket, really. I've been doing a little mining, not much, not nearly as much as, I was doing with, when ETH was still proof of work a couple years ago. But my portfolio has been pretty flat, so I've kind of been just trading sideways. I think one way to think of it is just repositioning for the upcoming bull run, and and being happy with your allocation into certain coins that you like, that you think are going to do well. And it's putting bets on a roulette table at that rate. But I think once the bull run does hit, there's so many good coins out there. People argue over, you should be in this or that. There's so many good coins out there. I think if you're invested at this point, October 24, I think we're gonna look back a year from now and be like, man, if I just put in $1,000 into this one, man, it would have been worth 10,000 today. But you could like throw a dart, with a blindfold on, throw a dart at a board full of 30 different cryptos and hit anyone, and they're all going to be winners. Whether they do at a minimum, 2x, and maybe more, 10, 20, 50x. Some of these coins I think are going to do really well if we get a good, strong Bitcoin season, where realistically, I think it sounds, you hear analysts saying, or news articles saying that, Bitcoin's going to hit 200,000 or 300,000-400,000 this bull cycle. That's a little absurd. I think, that'd be awesome. But I don't think that's going to be the case. The market cap would have to be, 8-10 trillion or more, or whatever. Again, maths. But I think it seems like if things go well enough, that Bitcoin could hit 120, 150,000 at best. And if it does that, then that means altcoins, some of these altcoins, once altcoin season does actually hit, are going to really take off, and it's going to be a good year. I'm really hoping. I've been waiting. We had the Bitcoin halving earlier this year, and before the halving, I swear, people in so many different communities are like, oh yeah, as soon as the halving happens, usually there's a little bit of a delay after that, but then we should see the bull run. And that didn't really happen. And then it was like, oh well, it's summer. Summers are always not great. I'm like, okay, yeah. And then after the summer, then it was like, oh well, September or August usually sucks. September usually sucks, but October, okay. Oh, but it's election season. So, the truth is, nobody knows. Nobody knows. they can claim to be super confident and know what they're talking about, but I don't know what I'm talking about either. I'm just repeating stuff that I hear from other places, right? As best I can. So what else did I want to say? So I'm still very bullish on Caspa. Don't lose the faith, I guess. But I'm excited to see what happens with some of these meme coins. If those things can take off, if that's a faster moving car for me for now, tentatively I plan on, depending on how fast that car goes, I might take some profits and dump it back into Caspa if Caspa hasn't recovered yet and is still under 15, 17, 18 cents, just dump it back into Caspa, take some profits, and then when Caspa just needs to get listed on a tier 1 exchange. There's a lot of talk about it, no official announcements. There's always been people speculating and spreading rumors about Caspa. Oh, it's gonna get listed on Coinbase. Well, where'd you hear that? Oh, some dude on Twitter. That's not, you guys don't know how to differentiate fact from fiction. Just like with your politics and your news. Seriously, people, learn how to research things. Google it and learn how to differentiate. Yeah, I don't know. People are terrible at. You guys shouldn't be allowed to use the internet. Some of you. I'm sorry. Morning. My coworkers are showing up here. I'm just parked in the parking lot. So doing my sandwich. So I think, yeah, Caspa just needs to get listed. As soon as it gets listed, if it gets listed before January on Coinbase or Binance, man, that's gonna be it. It's already in Binance futures. It's been there for, God, like 9 months. Which means they're eventually gonna list it, but nobody knows when. But yeah, as soon as more of the public or the basic crypto enthusiasts have access to it. I mean, I know someone that I meet with regularly to help him with his crypto portfolio, who's an older guy, and he reads regularly about, he gets, crypto news and all these altcoins and stuff, and he wants to get into them, and he wanted to get into Caspa 6-9 months ago, and he was talking to me about it, and he's like, well, I don't want to have to use a VPN. I don't know how to get to such and such exchange. I tried signing up for MEXC, back when before they were banning usage from the United States. So I tried doing that. It's too complicated. I don't want to do that. I just have my Coinbase account and I just in my Coinbase wallet, and he even needed help with the Coinbase wallet, kind of. But I mean, but Coinbase at least is really easy. So he, he didn't want to. And I think a lot of people are like that, and people that I just talked to at the office or something when I bring up crypto, they don't want to do anything more than just like maybe install one app and link their bank account or their PayPal account, and buy some Bitcoin and maybe a couple of altcoins that they've heard about, or something that looks good, and with some advice from a friend who knows things about it. So I think, again, if Caspa can get listed on one of those exchanges, that's going to be a game changer. And the other big thing to watch out for is just going to be sentiment in the news media, and in the media in general, because every time, the past year and a half, you see crypto mentioned in the news, it's in a negative light, and I think there's something to be said about the powers that be, they, quote unquote, whoever that is, the people that the technocrats, as Jelly Biafra would call them, the technocrats that like to play God and run our society or whatever, the ultra rich, who own all the news media outlets, at some point decide that they've accumulated enough Bitcoin or whatever, and they're going to change the temperament in the news. And when you start to see Joe Scarborough on MSNBC talking positively about crypto, or anybody in the news media talking positively, in regular news media talking positively about cryptocurrency, that's when you know things are going to change, and things are really going to take off. So if and when that happens, again, what do I know? But all right, I'm gonna get in and go to work at 7:30. That's it for now. Have a great week, everyone.